What's up guys, Max Tech Toy Box here, and today I am doing my video review of the 2023 Tesla Model X Plaid. Finally. So, the delivery date of my Tesla Model X Plaid was May 20th, 2023. You guys can check out some links in the description to give you guys my buying process and my first impressions of having the vehicle for I think a week or two. And so now I have had the vehicle for nearly 3 months, just about 3 months, and I think I've had it long enough to give you guys some of my final thoughts. First, we'll go ahead and go over the things that I like most about it. So, number one out the gate, the number one thing that I like most about this vehicle is the look. Those falcon wing doors are just so beautiful. I like the angles and the curves of the vehicle. It makes it look very aggressive, and it's just like a conversation starter. I think I touched on this a little bit in my first impressions with those falcon wing doors when they pop open. I'm going in the backseat a lot to get my son in and out of the car, and every single time anyone sees him, oh, that's so cool. What car is that? Oh, those are so cool. Oh, that it's always something like that. Different people have a lot of different things to say about that in general, and I like it. I really do like the way that they look. It's just something that's literally out of like a futuristic, I don't want to say sci-fi movie, but it's just so forward-facing tech, right? Something that's a bit future-proof. And I like that a lot. As I said, the angles are like that aggressive front end. The rear spoiler on the back, even though it doesn't move, it'd be cool if it did, but it just gives it a nice aggressive look. The brake pads, the rims, it's just a nice design aesthetic, and I really, really do enjoy that. Of course, a lot of people will probably say, wait, hold on. The number one thing that you like most about the vehicle is the way it looks. What about how fast it is? Well, that's the number two thing that I like most about the vehicle. As you guys know, it is a Plaid, so it goes 0 to 60 in like 2.49 or 2.5 seconds. It is just crazy fast. Even 3 months in, I have yet to go into launch mode with this car, because when I am just going, it's so crazy fast. I can only imagine what launch mode is like. I want to make sure that when I do that, I am doing that in a very safe environment because as fast as this vehicle is, you get up on other cars very, very quick. And I will actually touch on that in a little bit. But you get up on them so quick, you need to make sure that your foot is near the brake pad or ready to press the brakes to make sure that you don't run into the back of anyone. So I would only recommend doing that definitely in a controlled environment where you have enough speed to brake, and so that you can experience the full extent of that launch mode. If you guys don't know what launch mode is, the car basically gets into a cheetah stance where it launches and gets lower so that it can take off faster. And this is probably very difficult to explain, but it does not matter how many times you hit that pedal, okay? You never get used to it. It's nothing like, actually, I would say it's sort of downplayed the experience for me for launch coasters, because that's what a lot of launch coasters are, the way that they take off with the electric motors. This is just so much faster, so it's just ridiculous. So you will never ever get old of it. I promise you, if you ever get this vehicle or even the other the Model S Plaid, you'll never ever get used to how fast it is when it takes off. The next thing with the Model X that I enjoy the most is the space. It's so much more spacious than the Model Y, which is kind of crazy because it doesn't look that large. My neighbor was actually asking me about it, and I told him it had 3 rows, and he was like, what? That has 3 rows? And it does. And more recently, I've actually been placing my son in that, or the rear, the 3rd row, and having those seats up, because it is 3 rows. It's not enough for like a full adult to sit back there, but like a young child, definitely a teenager. I had my younger brother back there, and he was able to fit. So nothing probably for like extremely long trips. Of course, a young child, it's fine. But once you get above like 5, 6, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But it does have that. And the beauty is those seats fold flat. And so when they're down, you get a bunch of space in the back cabinet. I think so. I looked it up. It's somewhere around 37 cubic feet when those rear seats are up, and when they fold down, it's around 85 cubic feet. So plenty of space to get anything that you really need to transport. No issues, and that doesn't even include the frunk. The frunk in the Model X is around 6.6 cubic feet. And then just to compare this, because I did have the Model Y, the Model Y's frunk is around 4.4 cubic feet. I think that the cargo space for the Model Y was somewhere around 30.2 cubic feet with the seats up, and then when they were down, around 72 cubic feet. So still more space in the X than the Y. And then it's also just like a bigger ride. Like when I'm driving in the X, I just feel like I'm in a bigger vehicle. Similar to when my wife had the RAV4 and I went down to the Y, the RAV4 felt bigger, even though it actually wasn't, than the Y. Well, I mean, it was marginally larger than the Y, but the X feels bigger, and it is actually bigger than the Y. So the next thing that I like a lot is the tech, right? This does have hardware 4.0, so it helps to future-proof things in a little bit. Because of that, you know that you're going to get the latest software that Tesla does offer. The way that the screen swivels, that's super cool. Most of the time I just have it facing me, but if my wife wants to enjoy some content, then we'll either put it in the center, or she'll have it facing her when we're like charging or things like that. Also, the back screen, my son loves it. He can watch content on that small screen with Disney Plus, YouTube, Netflix, things like that. And that's another thing too. The sound system is really nice. Now, there's one thing that I wish that Tesla would do, and I'll go ahead and talk about that now. When you are streaming something, or when you have theater mode activated in the back, you should be able to differentiate the rear speakers from the front speakers, because when theater mode is activated and they're streaming something, the front speakers are essentially cut off. So you don't hear anything coming from the front speakers. Everything is coming from the back. And the sound stage in the back is really good. There's actually a full sound bar on the rear tailgate, which is nice. You can definitely watch some good content back there. But they should be able to differentiate between the two, so that if my wife and I or anybody in the front seat wants to listen to something, they can, while everyone in the back is watching something different. I understand it might be some software tweaks that are needed. Maybe they need to be able to control their own volume, which makes sense. And the same thing for us, so we would have to control our own volume. But it just seems to make sense. And I'm assuming that would be a future update that they would be supplying, but definitely one that's needed. A little bit with hardware 4.0. There's a new front-facing camera with higher resolution and a wider field of view. There's a new camera on each of the B pillars that can see sideways and slightly forward. A new camera on each C pillar that can see sideways and slightly backward. A new rear-facing camera with higher resolution and a wider field of view. A new cabin camera with higher resolution and a wider field of view. A new camera on each fender that can see behind the vehicle. And there's also 2 new cameras on each side of the vehicle that are mounted lower and move more forward than they were before. And there's also something else that is, or speculating because the hardware is there, they think it's going to be HD radar. So a few years ago, and this is based off of some speculation, but a few years ago before, at one of the Tesla events, Elon basically said that Tesla Vision or regular cameras are more superior than radar, and that was the reason why they were removing them. And then he went back, like while he was on stage, and said, well, actually HD radar is better than both of them, but we don't have that tech available. So, Tesla Vision with cameras, that's what we're doing moving forward. Well, now in hardware 4.0, there is supposed to be a component of HD radar. So a lot of speculation that as updates get pushed out, that will be something that is brought back to any of the vehicles that have hardware 4.0. Now something else, the range on the Model X is around 335. This is the Plaid, 335 miles. On the Y, I had the performance model. My range is, I think, 305 miles. So I get more range and a faster car. So, just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. All of those things are things that I really, really enjoy about the vehicle. And I do like the vehicle all in all. However, there's certain things about the car that I don't like. And a lot of that actually has to deal with promises that Tesla has made. So I did purchase something called Enhanced Autopilot, and there's basically 4 features that are supposed to come with Enhanced Autopilot. One is Summon, which is supposed to be or allow you to summon your car to wherever you are. If you're at the front of a grocery store while the car is parked, you can use summon to have the car back out and come to where you are at the front of the grocery store, for example, if it's raining or if you have a whole bunch of bags or something like that. So that's the purpose of summon. Something else that comes with enhanced autopilot is navigate on autopilot. So ideally, if you're on like an interstate or highway, you'll be able to navigate when you activate your autopilot, so that it'll switch lanes and essentially drive for you while on the highway. You still have to have your hands on the steering wheel, and there will be cues that pop up to make sure that you're paying attention. And you technically doesn't change lanes unless you give it the okay. It'll pop up and say if you want to switch lanes, and you have to hit the indicator for it to perform that or execute that lane switch. It does not work on regular streets. It's only on highway. Auto park is something else, so that the vehicle will automatically park itself. And there's supposed to be a difference between summon and smart summon, but essentially they're the same thing. Now, enhanced autopilot I think was like a $5,000 upgrade, and because of Tesla hardware 4.0, most of the features do not work. So navigate on autopilot does work. However, I cannot do summon, I cannot do smart summon, I can't do smart park. Okay. I get stumped on exactly what this feature is supposed to be, but the ability for the car to alert itself when you're coming into contact or coming close enough to something else so that it doesn't hit anything. Park assist. So park assist is supposed to be able to tell you when you come into close proximity of something, so that it'll alert and beep so you don't hit it. That is something that actually I'm going to say over the last month just came to the Model X. It wasn't there before, which is kind of ridiculous. And even though it has come to the Model X, it is pretty crappy. Nowhere near as accurate as my wife's Model 3 or even my Model Y that I had before the X. I'll show you guys footage of me using it. The lines are not accurate. They're super squiggly. It basically beeps if you get into, I want to say like less than 3 feet of anything. It doesn't matter how close you are, or if you're actually close to something. It's like, okay, I'm just going to beep to let you know that you might hit something. It's not accurate at all. And then another thing with the Model X, the doors. So when you get into close proximity with your car, or rather with your phone, and you can have this set up so it does it at any location or any location outside of home. But anyways, as you're walking up, the door will automatically open up on the driver's side. Now, what's supposed to happen is the door is supposed to open completely. However, it's not doing that. It'll just open up a little bit, and then you have to do the rest of the work. Well, the reason why this is so is because I spoke to someone when I first got the car, the engineers, and they're saying that it's because of hardware 4.0. They need to make sure that everything is calibrated accordingly so that the sensors are reading correctly, and they don't accidentally open up the car door too much and it hits something. So it's something that they're working very vigorously on to try and bring this to the Model X. And this I was told within a week of me getting the car, and like I said, I'm close to 3 months now. So I don't like the fact that I'm still waiting for this. I really don't like the fact that this is something that's supposed to be standard with the car, right? And it is still marketed as being standard with the car. If you look at anything that Tesla has on the Model X, this is one of the features that they're always talking about. Even when you go to purchase, or rather after you purchase, they send you these different videos. They want to get you on some live streams so they can go over and answer any questions. And in all of the material, they talk about the fact that the doors open up by themselves, but they don't because of the upgrades that have been made to the hardware. So, don't like that. Like, I paid for a car, and this is a feature that it doesn't have. And I mean, obviously the car is pretty expensive. Not to mention, I paid even more for a certain subset of features for a vehicle, and those are not here yet. And that probably echoes of what people probably say for full self-driving as well. You paid, I think that's like a 15-20 grand charge or something like that for full self-driving, and it's still not exactly where it needs to be. So I'm not happy with that at all. However, Tesla does push out a lot of updates. If there's any sort of saving grace for them, they're always pushing out updates. So because they're always pushing out updates, I am hopeful that this is something that is actually going to come to the car sooner rather than later. However, there is no, I guess you could say, guarantee, which is kind of a little unsettling. Like a lot of the times you guys have watched my other videos about phones, like smartphones and other things like that. When purchasing those devices, you really shouldn't purchase it based off of a future software upgrade. A little different with a vehicle, especially with someone that has a track record like Tesla, where they're normally pushing out lots of updates. But it is a little scary that I paid an extra $5,000 for something that is not there, and I don't have one of the baseline features that are supposed to be present in the car. So I know I sort of gave you guys a long spiel about the cons that I don't like about the car, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm giving you guys the full broad spectrum view of everything. The car drives wonderful. It's super fast. It is my daily car. I'm driving around in it all the time. And every time I get into it, it is just as fresh as it was the first time, because of, not just because of that speed, but just because of the look, the aesthetic. I really do like the vehicle. It's just, weirdly enough, the software is what I'm waiting for to catch up with the rest of the hardware, which is not usually what Tesla does. Usually it's the other way around. Tesla's software is so good. And sometimes a lot of people would say that the hardware is a bit lacking. So, like I said, I will keep you guys updated. Sorry this video took so long, but I was procrastinating a little bit making the video. I was also hoping that some of these updates were going to be pushed out sooner so that I could really evaluate them, but they haven't. So I will probably look to do a 6-month video review and hopefully touch on some of those spots to see if those things have been addressed. Either way, it's Max Tech Toy Box signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any questions that you guys have, anything that I didn't address. I think I pretty much hit everything on the head. If not, like I said, leave a comment below. Until you guys see me again, take care and stay safe. Peace.